everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Whether you are joining live or watching the replay, I'm so glad you are here. Today's conversation is for anyone who has ever thought about starting something new but found themselves asking, can I really do this? Can I trust this? What if I fail? If you have ever had those thoughts, you are definitely not alone. And today's conversation is for you. For those of you who see me for the first time, my name is John. I'm originally from Nigeria. I'm a mom, a wife, a healthcare worker, and a digital business owner. I help everyday people build an online business so they can create freedom, flexibility, more options, and more time for their family life. Before I get into our conversation, let me tell you what I'll be talking about today. If you have ever thought about starting an online business but found yourself feeling uncertain, this life is for you. Today, I'm going to have an honest conversation about three important questions that many people ask before getting started. First, I'll be talking about the fears and doubts that often hold people back from starting an online business and what helped me overcome those fears. Next, I will discuss the specific factors that help me build trust and confidence to take that very first step and begin my journey. And finally, I will share the research and due diligence I did before joining and what gave me confidence that this was the right opportunity for me. My goal today is not to convince anyone to make a decision. Instead, I'm sharing my personal experience, the questions I asked, the lessons I learned, and why I believe it's important to make informed decisions whenever you are exploring something new. The first question is, when you first heard about starting an online business, what fears and doubts did you have, and what helped you overcome them? Um, when when I first heard about building an online business, I heard many of the same questions and doubts that people have today. I wondered if I had the skills, if I could really do it, and whether it was the right fit for me. I didn't have any business background, and I wasn't a tech savvy either. My focus had always been caring for others because of my background in healthcare, not building an online business. Being a mom and a wife, one of my biggest concerns was whether I would have enough time to take care of my family and help my children with their needs and also manage our home. But then I realized that I didn't have to do everything at once. I could start small and learn a little each day. That mindset alone changed everything for me. Instead of focusing on how much time I didn't have, I focused on making the best time out of what I had. Another fear I had was I would be able to um, whether I would be able to do things like Facebook Live, creating content, or even sharing my stories and journeys. That was completely out of my comfort zone. But what helped me overcome those fears was realizing that I didn't have to know everything before I started. I just needed to be willing to learn. I reminded myself that every expert was once a beginner. Instead of letting the fear make those decisions for me, I chose to take one small step at a time. Today, I'm grateful that I didn't let fear hold me back. Taking that first step opened the door to learning new digital skills, growing in confidence, and creating additional opportunities for me. Now that I have talked about fear, let's talk about something that's equally important: trust. Because before anyone takes a step into something new, they usually want to know if it's something they can believe in. The second question is, what specific factors that helped you build enough trust and confidence to take the first step and join this online business? For me, trust wasn't built overnight. I wanted to understand exactly how this business worked and what I was getting into before making any kind of decisions. I believe that whenever you are exploring something new or any opportunity, it's important to ask questions. Take your time and make an informed decision. It's not something you have to rush into. One thing that really stood out for me was the training and education that were available. Also, seeing people who were genuinely willing to help others succeed was a big one for me too. I realized that confidence grows as you continue to learn. It doesn't appear magically before you begin. I appreciated that I could learn at my own pace while working and taking care of my family. Another thing that gave me confidence was seeing ordinary people like me, busy parents, immigrants, and working professionals who were learning new digital skills and sharing their own experiences, coupled with the conversations I had with my coach. That opportunity became more real and relatable to me. It wasn't just about what I was being told. It was about seeing people who had started where I was and were willing to share their journey honestly. I also love that I didn't have to quit my job to get started. I could begin where I was, learn little by little in my spare time, and continue providing for my family while building new skills. Most importantly, I felt supported. I wasn't expected to figure everything on my own. Having mentorship, guidance, and a community of people who were willing to encourage and support me gave me the confidence to take that very first step. Looking back, I realized that my confidence didn't come from having all the answers. It came from taking time to learn, asking questions, and trusting the process. That led me to something I always encourage people to do. Never feel pressured to make a decision without first doing your homework. Let's go to the last question. Before joining this business, what research or due diligence did you do? And what convinced you this was the right opportunity for you? That's a great question. Before I joined, I didn't rush into the business. I believe that whenever you are considering new opportunity, like I have said before, it's important to take your time and do your own research, do your own due diligence. That's exactly what I did. I attended webinars and training sessions. I asked a lot of questions. I listened carefully to others' experiences. I took I listened carefully to other experiences. I took time to understand how the business worked, what would be expected of me, and whether it's aligned with my personal goals, values, and lifestyle. That's the most important thing to me. I wanted to make an informed decision, not an emotional one. What really stood out for me was that this wasn't about getting rich overnight. It was about learning valuable digital skills that I could develop over time while working and caring for my family. That approach alone made sense to me because I always believed that lasting success comes from learning, growing, and consistent. Um, looking back to looking back today, I'm thankful I took the time to do my research before getting started. It gave me the confidence to move forward because I understood what I was saying yes to. Since then, I have grown in confidence, developed new digital skills, and created additional opportunities. That's exactly what I did. And I'm grateful I gave myself the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to step outside my comfort zone. If there is one thing I do like everyone watching to remember today is this. Don't let fear or pressure make your decision for you. Ask questions. Do your research wisely. Keep an open mind and make the choice that's right for you. Sometimes the first step is not having all the answers. It's about being willing to learn. If today's conversation encouraged you and you're curious about how I've been learning digital skills and building an online business, feel free to visit my website or send me a message and I will be happy to answer any question you might have. And I would also like to connect with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you on my next live. God bless you all and have a wonderful day. Bye everyone. Bye.